can't start until the congressman is taken care of. I appreciate y'all coming out here tonight. Roasting John Lewis, wow. Not what you call an easy assignment. This is kind of like roasting a puppy, except that's not accurate. Puppies actually do bad things from time to time. Hey, it could have been worse. We could have roasted Mr. Rogers, Nelson Mandela, or Mother Teresa. Tonight, the Alliance for a Better Georgia is presenting Representative John Lewis with our Courage Award. Thank you. Giving John Lewis an award for courage is part of Better Georgia's new series, Understatements. Past recipients of the Courage Award have been Governor Roy Barnes and Mayor Shirley Franklin, as well as everyone who took I-85 over Piedmont Road to get here. I took that route today because I live in Clark County. For more than a decade, I lived in John Lewis's district and then moved to Athens with my boyfriend Alex. Before that, I grew up in Alabama. John and I, yes, thank you. John and I are both from the same town, Troy, Alabama, the boys from Troy. In Troy, the gay population was considered anyone who likes frozen yogurt. And a liberal was someone who could read. You know, Alabama is not the most progressive regarding sexual orientation. In high school, our gay club was me and some straight kid who liked Depeche Mode. Troy is known for Troy University and for being the location of the Kid Rock Hank Williams Jr. music video entitled Redneck Paradise. I'd say the first half of that title is right. John Lewis started out as a young boy preaching to the chickens. However, it didn't go over so well the first time he visited Georgia and tried it on the big chicken. But those chickens back in Alabama, Congressman Lewis, they listened better than your colleagues in Congress. Maybe the chickens were good preparation for the way his Republican colleagues act toward President Trump. Remember when media pundits suggested we should give Trump a chance? You can't get on the same page with someone who's never picked up a book. John Lewis knew that, by the way. Congressman Lewis knew that before anyone. Over the past 6 years, I've been honored to build Better Georgia into our state's largest progressive community. Our mission is to lift Georgia's progressive voices higher than the conservative propaganda machine. We do that through traditional media, social media, our daily blog, our weekly podcast, our YouTube channel. Sometimes we fly messages behind an airplane over football stadiums. We once hired a mobile billboard to drive around the state capitol for 8 hours, whatever works. We create a steady stream of activism opportunities for a Facebook audience that's as big as the Democratic Party of Georgia and the Georgia GOP combined. Thank you, we're proud of that. We reach more than 143,000 progressives on Facebook and just short of 300,000 by email. Over the past 6 years, we have led some of the most memorable progressive campaigns, including Vote Your Ass Off, a hashtag that trended as #1 in the nation. Thank you. It served as a rallying cry for the progressive army that John Ossoff built. And John, thank you for building that army. Now, our job at Better Georgia is to make that army permanent and to win the next fight, and then the next one, and then the next one, and we're going to keep on going. Better Georgia also served as the communications team for the campaign that defeated Amendment 1 at the ballot box with Stop the School Takeover. Thank you. Our communications director, Brandon Hannock, led that effort and trained more than 50 parents to talk to the media about the school takeover. And that was the secret to our success there, those parents. Our political director, Louis Elrod, served as the campaign manager for that statewide victory. Thank you. We have worked to support the passage of Pursuing Justice for Rape Victims Act, stopped the campus rape cover-up bill, and stopped the Republican map rigging bill. Despite all of this, progressives in Georgia still have quite an uphill battle. The GOP keeps trying to bring back the religious freedom bills. They want to impose such a blanket of moral and religious values over Georgia, it would make it impossible for Trump to visit. We're going to have wine in a minute. It'll make this funnier. It's next. There's also the campus carry bill. Anyone remember when the only deadly thing you could shoot off in college was your mouth when you hadn't done the reading? We have so much work to do here in Georgia. So thank you. Thank you so much for your generous support. And thank you, Representative Lewis, for allowing us to honor you tonight and for giving us the power to keep fighting. Now, thank you. Yes. You may know this, but Representative Lewis has written an award-winning graphic novel trilogy about his life called March. When asked why he put out a comic book, John said he wanted a work that could be understood by Republicans. The only people who don't love March are comic book store owners who keep saying, we want to put it with the other superheroes, but by comparison, John Lewis makes them look weak. Though to be fair, you also probably don't want to see him in superhero tights. Few people know this, but Donald Trump and Congressman Lewis share at least one thing in common. As long-shot outsiders, both defied pollsters and pundits to win the office they serve in today. Let's hope the coincidence ends there, because John has been reelected 14 times. Congressman Lewis has served Georgia longer and more faithfully than any of its baseball stadiums. I'm looking forward to hearing Bill Campbell speak tonight, the Atlanta mayor who proves the road to success is always under construction. I overheard Shirley Franklin and Bill Campbell talking in the hall tonight. Bill asked Shirley, be completely honest, how do you rate my term as mayor? Shirley said, I give it a 9.5. Damn, good score. She said, well, Bill, that's out of 100. Thank you. Tom Houck is here. You're next, Tom. I'm sure you all know him as Uncle Tom. Hey, that's the name the King children call him, right, Tom? That's right, yeah. Through radio, TV, and print, Tom was the voice of Georgia Democrats for a generation, which may explain how we ended up here. Zernona Clayton once convinced the Grand Dragon of the Georgia Ku Klux Klan to denounce the Klan. That's true. She talked a Grand Dragon into denouncing the KKK. I'm checking to see if she's available to speak with Trump. Our MC for the evening will be Monica Pearson. Monica retired from anchoring Channel 2 Action News in 2012 after 37 years. She continues to host her close-ups interviews on WSB TV and also hosts a weekly radio show on KISS 104.1 FM. It's quite a thrill to honor Congressman Lewis tonight and to celebrate his sense of humor. Roasting John is truly a tough assignment because he is such a decent man. Representative Lewis, your opponents have the toughest job in all of politics. Now, before I sit down, I want to tell you my own history with Congressman Lewis, and this is a true story, by the way. Back in 2010, he invited me and my partner to lunch in DC at the Congressional Dining Room. We set aside an hour or two for lunch. It was amazing. After lunch, he surprised us with a tour of the Capitol. He introduced us to half of Congress. This day is one of the highlights of my life. but he wouldn't let us go. The tour lasted so long that we missed our flight back to Atlanta. So for anyone looking for dirt on John Lewis, he's technically guilty of kidnapping. Thank you. We have one little change to our program tonight. Unfortunately, Ambassador Andrew Young could not join us. He had minor oral surgery today and couldn't speak tonight. So we've subbed in my C4 board chair, Amy Morton. She was the founding board chair of Better Georgia and the Alliance for Better Georgia. She has 20 years of experience in Georgia politics. And when I stepped into her office 6 years ago and asked her if she would join me on this journey of creating this progressive advocacy group here in Georgia, I never dreamed that I'd be standing in front of a room like this. It's also helpful that she's an ordained Baptist minister, so she can do the invocation tonight. Amy?